Welcome, Collective, to Timeless Energy. I'm Barbara. This is a general timeless reading. This is entertainment purpose only. If it does not resonate, please do not try to make it fit. There are plenty of timeless energy videos out there that I made. And you can go back and check anything to find the message that might be helpful to you that does resonate. But if it does not resonate, please do not try to make it fit your situation. Watch out for scammers in the comment section. This is my disclaimer. I do not reach out to anyone. As I was trying to help my girlfriend find my timeless energy in her phone so she could subscribe. We got busy laughing and joking, and she never did subscribe. But she did tell me she found it. The thing about it is Timeless Energy is my second channel. And what she pulled up was a timeless energy which belonged to someone else. Okay? So if you're trying to locate timeless energy, I need to warn you, there might be other timeless energies in YouTube. Just be sure to look for this background. It never changes. Okay. As my candle burned out really fast, actually. But I did smudge. We're going to start with an oracle card, which are beautiful, aren't they? This is Crystals the Stone deck. This was a gift. They are very large. They are kind of difficult to shuffle and what have you. But I do my best. We only need one of these, and they're not very easy to mix in together. Well, it's better just shuffling them, actually. But bear in mind, so you can fast forward while I'm spirit guide me, fast forward while I'm trying to see which flips out here, because they're being difficult to manage. And my candle burned out on me. Was the energy is kind of strong. Spirit guide me, spirit guide me, spirit guide me, spirit guide me, spirit guide me. Okay, we got one. Okay, there we go. Isn't that a pretty picture? Let's see what we have. Celestite. Blue-gray celestite is a delicate sulfate mineral with airy, buoyant blue cotton candy vibes. It gets its name from the Latin word for heaven. If you close your eyes and ask nicely, maybe it will take you there. Who needs this? Anyone brazenly ignoring the consistent inner voice that actually has some good ideas for how you might better handle this whole life thing. Where to put it? As a calming adornment wherever you meditate or pray. And when to use it? When it's time to stop and really listen. When celestite as a guide, you might be surprised what you hear. Tune in to your serenity. And isn't that a beautiful message? Again, I have also changed out. These are actually Rider-Waite, but they're white, and it was also a gift. I don't use them often enough. They are also very stiff and hard to shuffle and sort. But, you know, I need to use some of the other, ooh, there we go, fly right onto the floor. And our first card is the Three of Swords. And it flew out before I was even ready for it. So this will be interesting. Okay, Spirit guide me for the timeless energy. Spirit guide me for the timeless energy. Spirit guide me for the message for today, the timeless energy. Spirit, oh. In reverse, we have the Queen of Wands. These are metallic and they're a little larger, but I hope that you can see them all right. Let's move this camera just a little bit. There we go. Okay, one more card for the timeless energy message for today. Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me. One more message for the timeless energy today. Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me. One more message for the timeless energy today, and we have Ace of Pentacles. And I'm going to slide that right there. Good. We're in the process of moving things around. Everything has been a little upside down, and I do need to actually use some of the other cards. I tend to use the same familiar deck on a regular basis. But let us see what we are looking at here with what we pulled out. Now the Three of Swords. Was the Three of Swords is a third eye chakra. As a matter of fact, both the Three of Swords and the Queen of Wands is the chakra energy third eye. Your Ace of Pentacles is the crown chakra. And I do like to point out the chakras for clarifying energy. But the third eye is intuitive, intuition. It's one of my favorite chakras because you can easily find a way to communicate. Your gut instinct is if you are actually able to understand your intuitive ability. I mean, women have always talked about a mother's instinct. We all have an intuitive ability. Every single one of us. The thing about it is with the third eye chakra, that energy right there says my intuition and I trust it. Because you feel connected. You feel connected to spirit. You feel connected to the universe. You feel connected and balanced in your surroundings. You're intuitive and you trust that your intuition is giving you accurate messages. And these here have a double significance because there's two of them right next to each other in our read today. Now, your imagination can be very active with these third eye chakras. But in the most part, intuitive ability with the third eye, it's a very good thing, actually, to start off a read with two chakra cards with the third eye. Now, the Three of Swords is a Libra energy, which is a flat-out diplomat. If you've ever met a Libra, they will always try to be diplomatic if they're not distorted. We are talking about distortion as far as people, and I haven't really included distortion as part of my reads, but it does exist. But if the Libra energy is not distorted, we're talking about a diplomatic energy. Now, a Libra energy can be someone who debates or argues. You find that somebody's going to win at all costs, it might be that Libra energy that wants to debate and argue. And trust me, they've done their homework and they know exactly what they're talking about. Now, we do not have to be assuming that Libra energy is a person who's a Libra. Because we have 12 signs in the zodiac in your natal chart, and you might have Libra in your natal chart. And it might be in the right house at the right time for that particular moment where you stand up in front of the entire school and debate about a subject where you are right. And that is where that energy is coming from. So you don't have to be an energy. You don't have to be a Libra. As far as a person, and I tried just to stick to energies. Anyways. Now the Saturn is a wisdom and maturity type of thing. And the Saturn energy in the Three of Swords here is fate. So we're looking at fate, which focuses on removal, heartache, disorder, conflict. Whatever it is that you're looking at with this energy, it comes down to a fated energy. And the fated energy that you can't argue with, because usually with the fated energy, it's going to happen no matter what you try to do to prevent it. Right or wrong, whether you like it or you don't. It's a fated energy. Now with the tarot energy that usually lasts maybe 5 days, 7 days, you know, it's not like a lifetime generational thing. I don't see that. But I do see a fated energy, and it is upright. So this relates to where your heart might be broken or your feelings might have been very, very hurt. It might suggest a breakup, but it will definitely describe somebody or someone's hurting from a separation in some cases. Now, we all, when we live our life, we have disputes, and the dispute energy is not necessarily sitting on a fence, is it? It's where you argue with somebody, and you have to be right, and everybody in the argument has to be right. Well, somebody's hurt. Somebody's got their little feelings hurt. And this could be over a period of time. It didn't have to happen like today when you watch this read. It could have happened in the past. This could be a past energy of deep grief or loss. Maybe a loss or grief energy where someone has been profoundly affected and has difficulty moving on. This can be the case because the Saturn energy is a fated energy. And we only have so much time in our life, but when you are so profoundly affected by a loss and you have difficulty with moving on, it can have an impact on every facet of your life. Now the next card that we drew here, oh, is that going to be part of the read? Growth, okay. Queen of Wands in reverse. Now, the Queen of Wands is a Leo energy. It does not have to be a Leo person. It can be a person with Leo in their chart. Or it can be just the fire energy of the Leo, which is somebody who might be extroverted a little bit. More extroverted, maybe somebody who's a little bit on the flamboyant side. Somebody who wants to be a little bit on the dignified side. Somebody who is a little bit on the arrogant side. And paired with the moon, we're talking emotional support. So this could be referring to the emotional support that you are on the receiving end of, or the emotional support that you are on the giving end of. But whatever this energy is, arrogant, dignified, flamboyant, or supportive. And it could be your inner self. I don't leave that out. Whatever that energy is, it's in reverse. And we do have to point that out because that makes a big difference. The Queen of Wands in reverse is a jealous energy. It can be bullying, it can be a little bit insecure or vengeful or catty. But this is what the Queen of Wands is. And we're talking about, you want to be dignified about the situation. We got the diplomat here. We want to be dignified about whatever it is. And this does have to do, to a certain extent, with your inner self. But we're talking about faded energy here. And we're talking about somebody that might want to be dignified. Somebody who might normally be a flamboyant person. Might normally be an arrogant person. We might be dealing with mood swings. But the one that stands out the most here is the support or emotional support or whatever. And we're talking about being hurt here. We're talking about somebody who's maybe been dealt in some way a grief or a deep loss that they're not willing to move forward from, and then you want to be dignified. And we're focusing on your support. We're focusing on your support. Why are we focusing on your support? Because your support might be coming from somebody who's jealous, or catty, or a bully. Your support might be about, in your thought process, a vengeful energy. Well, I'll get you back. I'll get you, you just wait and see. That's not actually support, is it? It's emotional support, the healing of a loss or a grief or an upset or a heartbreak. And then we're talking faded, which means something that you had no control over. And then here you're dealing with your moon energy, which should be supportive, emotional. And this could be giving or receiving, mind you. But you might be receiving this support from somebody who's actually jealous. You might be putting out this emotional energy that's vengeful. In some cases, towards or about or whatever. Keeping in mind this is a faded energy, not long-term generation, but something that you have no control over. We need to continually remind ourselves that this is interacting with the environment. You have no control over it. So, you have control over how you handle yourself, but you don't have control over how another person handles themselves, or what they think, or how they feel. And we need to be a little bit empathetic towards the people that we don't communicate with often enough, because we really cannot assume that we know how they feel. We could come across with a vengeful energy and say, well, you know what, that person, you know what, they don't care anyways. They didn't do this, they didn't do that, or they did this, or they acted this way, or whatever that you want to think. But we really do not want, if we want to connect with the universe and bring positive energy in our direction, we need to avoid jealousy or being catty or being a bully about things. In some cases, if you're not a big enough person to move on and leave it alone, then you might be bringing bad luck upon yourself, bad karma. Because in here it says that the energy wants to be dignified about a situation. In the energy, it's diplomatic. It could be argumentative, but it tries to be diplomatic. The energy here is severely hurt or wounded and not able to move on because there's been no closure. And then you're dealing with, in reverse, this insecurity or a jealous energy or maybe even a bully. You need to avoid this energy if it's at all possible and focus on something that's positive. This would be advice on my part because what I see is this is what you're dealing with. And you know what? When you're dealing with somebody who's going to be catty or jealous, they can put a nice big giant smile on their face and look right at you. And you will not be able to tell that they have visualized harm upon you. You really, seriously, in many cases, cannot tell. People can be very deceptive. The thing about the deceptive energy of this is it is stemming from jealousy. It is stemming from jealousy. This is a situation where there might be some disorganization. This is definitely a situation where some persons try to impose their values on other people who might not be seeing things in the same way. And this is an energy that we need to avoid for your own well-being and the karma that might come with it. To stay positive, to do things that make you happy, an energy that we must avoid. Imposing your values on another person. Being in charge is one thing, but you know what? Everybody needs to have the respect of being shown in a light of respect and dignified. We're tearing somebody down because you're being catty about it and you want to rip them apart because you're different than one another. This brings karma back on a person. We're dealing with somebody who has been wounded, who is maybe in the grieving process. It might not be the loss of a person, because people do lose people. It is a fact of life. People live until they die. But it could be a different type of loss where you have stopped communicating with it. And this is an energy of a situation of where the loss is so devastating and having such a big impact on you. It could be your best friend. Just got married and moved away, so far away, and now you never hear from her. And you just have this big hole. I mean, you shared everything with this person, every little thing with this person, and now you have a big hole. This could be the loss that you're grieving over, and you're not willing to move forward from this. And you're dealing with jealousy, cattiness, insecurity. Okay, so let's move on to the Ace of Pentacles, because I could go on and on and on and on about that. The third card for our message is the Ace of Pentacles, which is the grounded energy of Earth. Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. The reason I need to point this out is because, you know what, when I get the three cards together like this, I like to point out the dates. Most people don't have everything memorized. If you don't personally know somebody who's a Virgo or a Capricorn or a Taurus. But this could signify the energy of a fated happening during a set of dates. We have between April 20th and May 20th. We have between December 22nd and January 18th, and we have between August 23rd and September 22nd. So this energy might be something that was in the past between any one of these sets of dates. April 20th to May 20th, December 22nd to January 19th, and August 23rd to September 22nd. This energy might have been something that occurred between any one of those sets of dates. So we might be talking about the energy of the past. With the Ace of Pentacles being upright, this has to do with finances. More than likely. Well, Pentacles are, right? Money or wealth, right? Now, it's not just cash in the bank, okay? Because there's a lot of talk in the news about the economy and all of that good stuff, taking away our money and making everybody live in a digital world. Whatever the situation that they have in the news, I don't understand all of it. But this energy is likely something that has to do with a windfall of some sort. Not necessarily a windfall that lands in your bank account, which is why you're dealing with this conflict and energy of cattiness and jealousy. It could be a leg up in some cases where you've received a support or a leg up that you didn't have. You didn't see it coming. It could be. But we're talking about grief, and we're talking about jealousy. So I would guess this had to do with some type of inheritance or windfall that did not go to the person who is upset. Now the thing about the Pentacles, it might not answer all your prayers. I mean, there are things that you cannot buy with money, and sometimes receiving a windfall of sorts can create all kinds of difficulties that you don't anticipate. I mean, you could get on your feet financially, this is true enough, and this could be a job offer, but what I'm seeing is grief. It could be what you need to step in the direction that might lead you to something very successful. And if this is romantic and having to do with being with a partner, it could alert you to someone, or the energy of you have value. You've found somebody that thinks that your time and energy and attention has a value. Okay, so it's not just money. Actually, to tell you the truth, there are people that think that time is more valuable than money because they have less of it. But if somebody takes their time and their energy to get to know you, or want to be with you, or be in a relationship with you, or do things for you specifically that makes you happy, this is also the energy of this Ace of Pentacles, where you have value and you are important as a person to someone. Now there are some that take this energy and run away with it like, oh my God. The energy of the earth, which would be long-term goals. The energy of earth, which would be reliable. The energy of earth, which would be practical, and in some type of cases, possibly helpful. Depending on who you're dealing with, or the energy that you're sitting in the situation, or how someone else perceives it. It could be the energy of assistance or helping. We could be dealing with a stubborn energy of reluctant to deviate from a certain course of action. Or maybe you've made plans and you're going to be arrogant and stubborn about it. But like I said, you have arrogance here, you have stubbornness here, you have faded energy here. Grief and loss is undeniable. Excuse me. I do think that we see the pieces of what we're dealing with, and this might not be the kind of perfect little story that many of the readers actually put out there. I'm not watching the clock and trying to put in an hour to get extra credit with YouTube. I am simply trying to find the message for today. Brazenly ignoring the consistent inner voice that actually has some good ideas on how you might better handle this whole life thing. And here we have the first two cards with the third eye chakra energy. Keeping in mind that I have not really brought up the chakra, the crown chakra of the Ace of Pentacles is adapting to changes. It is also on the receiving end of guidance. Excuse me. The receiving end of guidance and being open to changes. So there is the messages. If you resonate, please by all take that ball and run it. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and by all means check out some of my other videos. I will be back again with more Timeless Energies. Thank you for your time.